In this Arknights Endfield beginner guide, we're going to be looking into aspects of the game that you need to know, tips and tricks as you start your journey on Talos 2. We'll be exploring some of the game's core features, including the operators, their stats, gear, weapons, and other helpful information for new players. So let's get into it. First, let's talk about the basics and look into the classes of the game, as well as understanding their damage types. Arknights Endfield launches with a total of 23 operators, each belonging to one of 6 different classes. These classes are Guard, Caster, Striker, Vanguard, Defender, and Supporter. The Guard class excels as the primary DPS of the team and can apply vulnerable and physical statuses to enemies. The Caster class is the typical mage class that primarily casts elemental effects known as art inflictions and also triggers art reactions or elemental ailments. The Striker class, which is also a primary damage-dealing class, includes characters that specialize in exploiting physical or art effects before unleashing devastating attacks. The Vanguard class is centered around operators who help with restoring or managing skill points to the team. The Defender class is classified as a tank, highly durable, skilled at protecting allies, excelling at counterattacking enemies, and can provide healing capabilities. The Supporter class consists of operators capable of applying buffs to the team or debuffs to enemies. To simplify, the Guard, Caster, and Striker classes are the damage-dealing operators, while the Vanguard, Defender, and Supporter classes are your utility and support classes. Each operator further specializes in a specific damage type, and these are physical, heat, electric, cryo, and nature. Physical damage consists of physical statuses that you can identify from the description of an operator's skill, and these are Lift, Knockdown, Crush, and Breach, all of which deal damage. Physical statuses are not limited to just an operator's battle skill, but there are also some combo skills and ultimate arts that can apply one of the physical statuses. These 4 mechanics are simply associated with a common status known as vulnerable. How this works is that skills of an operator that consist of any of the 4 physical statuses apply vulnerable, which can stack up to 4 times, while skills indicated with Crush or Breach consume all vulnerable stacks. Consuming vulnerable stacks with Crush deals more damage to the enemy, while Breach makes the target take more physical damage for a period of time. It's important to note that while Crush and Breach do apply vulnerable, the next hit does not provide further stacks, but instead it is consumed. As for Lift and Knockdown, triggering the skill on enemies without vulnerable will apply the stack, and if the enemy is already vulnerable, the skill can apply Lifted, which springs an enemy into the air, or Knockdown, which topples the enemy to the ground. Any succeeding hits that apply Lift or Knockdown on a vulnerable target not only damages, but also adds some stagger and another vulnerable stack. Some skills of an operator can also forcibly apply Lifted or Knockdown, regardless of whether the target is vulnerable or not. So to utilize physical damage and physical statuses of operators or a team that specializes in this regard first, it is highly recommended to use skills with Lift or Knockdown to build vulnerable stacks, and follow up with an operator's skill with Crush or Breach to maximize its effects. Moving on to Arts Inflictions or Arts Damage. Arts Inflictions is categorized as an elemental damage that is divided into 4 types: heat damage, electric damage, cryo damage, and nature damage. Similar to physical statuses, Art Inflictions can be identified by reviewing the skills of an operator, such as their battle skills, combo skills, and ultimates. Art Inflictions can also stack up to 4 times depending on the element used. By applying a single elemental stack, you can follow up by triggering an Art Burst or Art Reaction. Art Bursts are the most basic as they only require 2 stacks of the same element to trigger their effect. Applying Art Inflictions with the same element is used for a small burst of Art's damage, and applying up to 4 stacks of Art Infliction. If you have a stack of Art Infliction, you can keep applying an Art Burst with the same element. So for example, if you use a skill with Heat Infliction, it damages and applies 1 stack of heat, and using another Heat Infliction skill triggers a Heat Burst that deals extra heat damage and another stack of Heat Infliction. Art Reactions, on the other hand, requires you to use 2 different elements to trigger an effect that acts differently depending on the elements you combine. By triggering an Art Reaction, it consumes the stacks of Art Infliction, deals elemental damage, and activates the Art Reaction. I know this is somewhat complicated, but bear with me. There are 4 Art Reactions: Combustion, Electrification, Solidification, and Corrosion. To simplify, landing the second different element will trigger the Art Reaction. For example, Solidification is a cryo art reaction that triggers if you use a skill that has cryo infliction if an enemy already has an art infliction of either heat, electric, or nature. A weak enemy that is solidified will be encased in ice, stunning the target for a period. Another art reaction is combustion, which triggers if you first applied an art infliction or art burst of electric, cryo, or nature, and then follow up with a heat infliction skill to trigger combustion. By doing so, the enemy will suffer heat damage over time until the effect wears off. Similar to physical statuses, art inflictions are not limited to an operator's battle skill, but some combo skills, if requirements are met, and ultimates can trigger art reactions. These basic aspects can easily be missed when you start the game, but I highly recommend looking into Enfield's database to find various in-game tutorials, and while you're at it, you can also make use of the operator guide to learn the unique mechanics of some operators. To find this, open the operator's menu, choose the profile at the bottom right of any operator's profile, and select Operator Guide. The Operator Guide is a great feature to learn how to use characters while also acquiring credit rewards used for headhunting. Next, let's cover operator attributes and upgrades. Each operator in Arknights Endfield consists of 4 attributes: Strength, which influences the operator's max HP, Agility, which touches on physical resistance, Intellect, which influences the operator's art resistances, and Will, which influences the amount of treatment bonus or healing received by the operator. Although 4 attributes provide bonuses, each operator specializes in 2 attributes, one being its main attribute and the other its secondary. Focusing on increasing the main attribute of an operator provides a larger percentage bonus to their attack, while the secondary attribute grants a smaller percentage increase to their attack. You can improve the attributes of an operator in various ways. The orthodox method is increasing an operator's level with the use of operator materials, and the other is by equipping gear items such as armor, gloves, and kits. Operator level caps are divided into 4 elite levels. Elite Promotion 1, which raises the cap to level 40, Promotion 2, raising the cap to 60, Promotion 3, raising the cap to level 80, and Elite Promotion 4 to the maximum level cap of 90. The materials for increasing the elite levels require specific operator materials that you can acquire by gathering them from rare sites or by clearing out combat simulations scattered across hubs known as Protocol Space. You can also acquire extra materials for exploration, looting chests, from login bonuses, or by trading via the AIC Quota Exchange Shop. As you increase the level of an operator and unlock elite promotions, you will also gain access to unlocking talent nodes or passive skills and increase the rank of an operator's combat skills, most of which require operator materials that you acquire from the activities I just mentioned. Each operator also features a potential upgrade tree that provides adequate enhancements and exclusive character artwork for unlocking certain levels. Luckily, these can easily be unlocked by using operator tokens or duplicates of operator banners from headhunting or from gacha pulls. So going back to the topic of upgrading operators and even weapons, I highly recommend spending your sanity or stamina wisely as soon as you gain access to these challenges to grind and farm for upgrade materials. Certain protocol space areas are not limited to just rewarding the player with operator materials, but some also provide weapon materials used for increasing the level and tier of weapons. And just to touch lightly on sanity and authority level. Sanity is the stamina or energy mechanic that is used to obtain various rewards after clearing combat simulations such as Protocol Space, Energy Alluvium, and Re-Crisis. Sanity will only be consumed upon completing a combat simulation. One sanity recovers about roughly every 7 to 8 minutes, for a total of 200 sanity every 24 hours. Alternatively, there are exclusive items that players can consume to restore sanity. At the start of the game, your authority level, or account level, will only allow you to have a maximum of 125 max sanity, and increasing it to max authority level 60 yields a total of 360 max sanity points. Authority level is tied to story progression, and you can increase its level by acquiring operational XP. Players earn operational XP by completing actions such as clearing missions, rifts, exploring the world, opening chests, and much more. With enough operational XP, your authority level will increase, providing you with exclusive rewards as well as increasing your max sanity. In Arknights Endfield, each operator has access to equipping up to 4 pieces of gear and 1 tactical item. Gear is divided into 3 categories: armor, gloves, and kits. An operator can equip 1 armor, 1 gloves, and 2 kits. Gear consists of sets and non-sets, and activating a set effect to provide the operator with stat boosts and other bonuses only requires the player to equip 3 set gear pieces. Equipping non-set gear pieces are good equipment pieces that you can use for your operators at the start, since they still provide boosts to attributes. Tactical items, on the other hand, are consumable items that an operator can equip, and by meeting certain conditions, operators will automatically consume the item to trigger effects like healing or granting buffs and other effects. What's unique about the gear system in Arknights Endfield is that it can be crafted via the gear assembly menu, which you'll gain access to early in the game. Yes, you can craft gear with fixed stats according to what you need, and it's not RNG reliant, unlike other gacha games. The only catch here is that gear pieces cannot be directly upgraded, but instead you choose what gear stat to upgrade through artificing, which becomes available in the later part of the game. Moving on to weapons, each operator in Arknights Endfield specializes in a type of weapon. There are swords, greatswords, polearms, hand cannons, or dual pistols, and arts units. You can obtain weapons in various ways, such as through exploration, completing quests, opening chests, purchasing them from merchants, but mainly it's through its gacha system, the Arsenal Exchange. Yes, weapons are also pulled just like headhunting operators. Acquiring weapons from the Arsenal Exchange requires Arsenal tickets, a special currency that you mainly acquire from headhunting. You can do 10 gacha pulls for weapons for 1980 Arsenal tickets, or you can check the rotating catalog and purchase a single weapon that you're interested in. As mentioned in our preview video, weapons level up similarly to how you level up the operators. They also require upgrade materials and minerals to max out the level cap, and you can increase the level cap via weapon tuning. Weapons also have a potential upgrade by sacrificing duplicates of the weapon to increase the weapon's passive effects, and you can infuse a weapon with essence orbs that drop from enemies to improve the substats of a weapon, such as critical chance, elemental damage, or healing effects. Finally, each weapon consists of traits. The primary trait is associated with an attribute, the second is for other stats, such as increased arts damage, improved physical damage, better ultimate gain efficiency, and more. And a third unique trait that grants extra positive bonuses and triggers effects if certain conditions are met. Not all weapons come with a third unique trait, as these are only available on 4, 5, and 6-star weapons. So we've gone over some important mechanics of the game, but what should you do on day 1 of Arknights Endfield? First, don't skip the start of the game, especially once you arrive at the hub in Valley 4. This is where the pack facility complex or the AIC will be introduced. Once you start to set up the complex, you'll be guided by one of the NPCs, Chief AIC Engineer Andre, on how to set up facilities such as relay towers, and he will provide you with one of the most important early resource facilities, the portable Originium rig, which allows for the mining of Originium ore. Take note that this portable Originium rig can only mine up to 50 before it stops, and you'll have to manually collect them before it can resume mining. Then continue progressing the main story of the game to discover more features of the AIC, unlock more game mechanics such as using sanity, and do not shy away from spending your sanity. I cannot emphasize this enough. You'll want to clear out protocol space levels immediately so you can acquire better rewards while at the same time increasing your authority level so you can acquire more max sanity. Also pay attention for efficient resource facilities like the electric mining rig. This facility enables you to mine Originium ore automatically, eliminating the need for manual collection of the materials, which can save you from having to log in and grab them. Your dailies will also play an important aspect when you start, as completing your daily challenges yields points to reach activity levels and ultimately acquire rewards like operational XP, headhunting materials, and upgrade materials. Ensure that you also check the event center to find weekly routine challenges for those extra rewards. Basically, don't neglect your daily and weekly challenges. So this wraps up our Arknights Endfield Beginner's Guide. I hope I gave you some helpful tips that you can use, especially when you're just about to start the game. There's a whole lot more of game mechanics I'd like to touch on, but most of them are introduced to you as you progress through the main campaign and ultimately reach endgame. Also, in case you missed out on some tutorial prompts, I highly recommend checking the in-game database. It can easily be ignored, and it is a lifesaver. I personally referred to it multiple times when I was playing.